Hi, my name is Carina Rivera, and welcome to my very first podcast. First of all, I just want to thank you all who have watched, subscribed, and have seen me grow throughout this process. The last year has just been so busy for me. I have been doing a couple of things such as TV, movies, and it gets a little stressful to try to record myself when I don't leave the house. So, doing a podcast seems to me like it is just a game changer. YouTube has just recently launched this amazing program where we can do our own podcast here on YouTube, which I am very thankful. This podcast is mostly about just getting into the industry. Sometimes I don't like doing my makeup, and this is an amazing, amazing way to get the content that I want out. I started in the industry by being a brand ambassador in San Diego, California for a local company called Ducats. They would give me free t shirts. I did a music video for them, as well as hats and all these really cool stuff. It definitely took a process in order to get paid, which I will talk about it in the middle of this podcast as well. But getting into the industry, I feel like I got scammed so many times, and that's the reason I can tell when a website is a scam because I've just gone through life experiences and I love to share them with my lady bosses, which I am thankful for having so many of you guys all around the world. And I love reading your comments. I try to respond to every single one that I can, but obviously I am a one person show. But here on the podcast, pretty much all your questions are definitely going to get answered. I once got scammed, not actually once, more like 3 or 4 times. I got scammed showing up to these casting modeling agencies telling you that, oh, we're going to get you in front of directors, producers, this is who we've worked with. And being very young and gullible, I would beg my parents to take me to these auditions, which were honestly a complete waste of time. And I'm talking about those auditions that you show up to a room full of people, you give them your headshots, and they tell you that they love you, but you need some polishing. They are pretty much recruiters to schools that they promise you the sun, the stars, and the moon. I personally did not ever go through with any of those, but I've had a couple of friends that did go through them and not a single booking. So it's definitely a life lesson to make sure that it doesn't happen to you. I recently signed up for a casting of Bad Boys 4. And usually, when I apply to something that I really, really want, I want my odds to be better. So I look around and see if there's more people casting. And it looks like the first casting that I did was the actual director's link. But I ended up all over again in a huge circle with a company named 99. They are not verified on Facebook or Instagram. They pretty much seem like they are coaches. Um, they talked about how they work on divorce court, how they work for Tyler Perry Studios. But in all reality, that is a complete lie because I am affiliated with a casting company that has put me to work on a real set. Um, they actually have the contract with Tyler Perry, and they are based in Atlanta. They hired me for Dick Clark's New Year's Eve on ABC, so the live show with Ryan Seacrest. I got to do that this year, which I am so thankful for. And they are the ones that have the contract for Tyler Perry Studios. Personally, I just don't think it's worth my time to drive 5 to 6 hours to Atlanta and then drive back as well. But it did give me an alarm for that, and it just brought like some memories of what I've had to go through in order to get to where I am now. The industry is honestly very, very, very rough. I've been on a movie set where the director, who is a really famous director, yelled at every single person and told the back people that they don't even have to worry about them because they're not even going to be in the movie. You have to have really, really thick skin. If you really want to get into this industry, I would suggest you hiring a photographer or contacting somebody that you know takes headshots, updating your headshots, and start mailing them into producers to get to those. It's actually very easy. If there's a show that you want to be on, just go there, and most of the time, the casting is very easy to find. Google is going to be your best friend. If you don't have professional headshots, depending on your city, you're definitely going to be struggling because they want people that are kind of polished. And you can definitely polish yourself. You can work on yourself on acting classes that are free on YouTube. YouTube has honestly been my best friend my whole entire life. And I couldn't get monetized on my other channel. I worked hard on this channel, and this is the channel that like took off. Consistency is definitely key. When I was auditioning for these, they would tell me that I would have to pay this much, that much, and in all reality, you're probably not going to make it back. Acting, they don't really pay as much as you think unless you're a big name. And in order to be a big name, you gotta do the little bottom jobs. You don't have to be a PA to get in the industry, but you're probably going to start doing background. Background is very last minute. You do not know if you get casted until 1 or 2 days before the actual project is going to be starting. There's some people that will fly from all over the world to come do the project, and they are paying out of pocket. Unless you have a supporting role, they will pay for your flight and accommodations. But for the most part, you are paying it for yourself. I live in a city where I'm very close to like everything. So I apply for New Orleans, Memphis, Gulfport, Atlanta, and that's pretty much like the only places that I would apply for. Anything else, I feel like it's not worth my time. And another thing that you will run into is the pay. The pay is very, very low for extras. Some people are trying to get you to do it for free, and some people will pay 50 to probably about $100, and that's just average. Obviously, some people have higher prices, but for the most part, that is the reality for it. If you can impress anybody on set, that's a bonus, but it's a place to start. If somebody asks you to do it for free, I feel like there's a limitation on doing it for free. I did so much free work, and most of the videos were never posted. And in some places, I drove to Vegas from San Diego. Sometimes I drove to LA, and these were like high artists that I started with. San Diego had a lot of that, and to be honest with you, now with the experience that I have, if you are not paying me for my time, I am not going to do it. Obviously, you have to start somewhere, but there are hundreds and hundreds of jobs that are being posted that are probably filming right in front of you and you don't even know. You have to have a very flexible schedule to be an actor or a model. You will not know if you have work the next month. You have to be a hustler. If you're not a hustler where you're not applying to all these jobs, you're not going to get any. Had a friend tell me that she had an agent and she never booked anything. And I explained to her that you have to start booking for yourself. This agent probably has, you know, 10 to maybe even a few hundred people. They forget every single talent. The website 99 would give you a profile, and it looks like they manually apply for you. But in all reality, these castings are for free. They are going to be doing what you are going to be doing. So I don't see a real benefit of having a website that you pay $99 and on top of that you pay a monthly fee of $40. You're paying for their website. I would rather you take that money, take that $100, do a photo shoot, get your headshots, and open up your own acting website than you paying for it. It's actually very cheap to run a website. It's about $19.99 a month with tax about $21.74. So it's something that's even cheaper for you. Open an IMDb if you have worked on any castings and start building your resume. If you are into music and you're trying to build your audience, reach out to local artists that are already doing what you want to do. Do a collaboration, do a music video. The moment you stop working on your dream is the moment it stops working. So that's why I have to go back to you have to be a hustler to be in this industry. Sometimes, if you get lucky, you get a really good manager that has plugs on a lot of castings. So it's always very, very good to have friends and make really good connections and networking. I don't think there's a shape, I don't think there's a size to be an actor, and I don't think there's an age because there's always kids castings, there's always middle school castings, there's always high school castings. The castings never stop. The filming industry is a huge, huge industry, and something that I've noticed as well that a lot of people from California are actually recording in the South because it's cheaper. I enjoy being in the South because the cost of living is just so much cheaper than anywhere else around the world, and so many things are being filmed. Atlanta has Tyler Perry Studios. They are consistently hiring background actors, and that's honestly the best place to start. And start building your following. I feel like if you have a following under 15,000, you're kind of slipping. Putting time and effort into your craft, it's also going to be what gets you to the next level. If you don't get headshots, you're most likely not going to get jobs. If you don't apply to jobs, you're not going to get jobs. I apply to jobs all the time, and for the most part, I do get the jobs that I want. But then when it comes to the pay, if it's not worth my time, I unfortunately have to decline. Getting a reel together is really easy. You can pretty much film it on your phone and read a script of a favorite movie or anything that you know from the top of your head. It's not hard. There are great videos on YouTube to follow for this kind of topics. So if this is something you like, I really appreciate you listening to this podcast, and I will be uploading more podcasts. Thank you guys so much. Until next time.